Hello, I'm Fred Davies, Master Herbalist with The Wholesome Life, and today we want to talk about antibiotic, antiviral, and antifungal plants and their uses for you if you ever have a cold or flu or other need for these plants. There are a whole bunch of antibiotic plants, and when I'm exposed to cold or flu or feel anything coming on, that first tickle that you feel when something's coming on, I don't wait to know what it is, and I don't bemoan, oh, I'm so sick, I have a cold, I have the flu, oh dear. I don't do that. Rather, I ask my body what it needs to fight it off. And I start that fight immediately by taking action on those first few hints of something going wrong and knocking it out with a 1-2 punch. I stop the cold at the tickle phase, or I stop the flu before it even gets the whole body ache phase. I don't miss a day of work, and I don't usually get tired enough to even slow down. And by the next day, I've got all the energy back again. So let's go through these antibiotic plants and see what they might do for you. Look at that list. We've got aloe and burdock and calendula. I've got the flower there because it's also known as marigold. You might have some in your yard. We also have echinacea root and eucalyptus and garlic bulb and ginger root, as shown in the picture there, and golden seal and licorice root and mullein, as shown in that other picture, and peppermint and sage and wormwood. And that's just a partial list of those plants that are antibiotic. So if you're ever told, oh, you got the cold or flu, you need to take antibiotics, don't do it. There's just a few quotes here from some of the better known hospitals, Mayo Clinic and Kaiser Permanente, and I want to just glance at those quotes. Kaiser Permanente says, bacteria or virus? Common illnesses caused by viruses are colds, most sore throats, and most coughs. Antibiotics are strong medications that treat bacterial infection. Antibiotics don't treat viral infections because they don't kill viruses. Well, that's well known, isn't it? And the other one was a question raised by the Mayo Clinic that says, what happens if you take an antibiotic for a viral infection? And they said, it's not, however, the right treatment for most sore throats, which are caused by viruses. If you take an antibiotic, when you actually have a viral infection, the antibiotic is still attacking bacteria in your body, bacteria that are either beneficial or at least not causing disease. So even the well-informed websites at the Mayo Clinic and Kaiser Permanente acknowledge that antibiotics are not the right treatment for viruses. But here we have an option where we have a bunch of plants that are known to be antiviral. Plants like astragalus root. Astragalus is an amazing, amazing plant that's not just antiviral, it also increases the length of the telomeres, those little tails that are on our cells that have to be long enough so that it can subdivide. In addition, astragalus is known as the plant that strengthens the immune system when it needs to be strengthened and calms it down when it needs to be calmed down. Now you're going to ask me, what are those highlights for on burdock and calendula and echinacea root? Well, I've highlighted those that are both antibiotic and antiviral. Elderberry is new as an antiviral and very often used. Perhaps you've even used elderberry for some of the things you've done. there's garlic and ginger again, and also licorice root and mullein and peppermint and sage again as antivirals, and then oregano. Again, that's just a partial list, but that's a list that's so powerful in knowing you've got some plant options to fight off that virus. And again, I do the 1-2 punch. Now, interestingly, some things that appear to be viruses or bacteria are actually funguses. We've had a significant challenge with lots of our clients and lots of our neighbors where they've had a chest problem, an upper chest problem, that was actually a fungal infection in the chest, causing pneumonia-like symptoms, a cough, and some other things. And it turned out to be a fungus. Well, look at that list of antifungals. Again, aloe is a repeat. From being antibiotic, it's also antifungal. Now we've got black walnut leaf, and black walnut hull, the shell around the nut, the soft shell before you get to the hard shell on the nut, is antifungal and very strong. Used it many, many times. There you go with calendula and echinacea. They cross over all three of them. Cloves is antifungal. Garlic, ginger, licorice root, and mullein cross over all antibiotic, antiviral, and antifungal. Spearmint, pau d'arco, turmeric, and oregano is antiviral and antifungal. Isn't it awesome how many plants are all three, antibiotic, antiviral, and antifungal? Now, how do you get rid of that cold and flu? Let me talk to you about how I get rid of it. I mentioned the 1-2 punch. Well, I feel that first tickle coming on. The first question I ask is, I do muscle testing. Do I have a bacteria? Oh, it's bacterial. Then I go through the bacterial list. Do I have a virus? If virus is yes, I go through that virus list, and I'll demonstrate that in a minute. If fungus is yes, I go through the antifungal list. And I do it this way. I simply say, for example, if it's fungal, aloe will help fight off this fungus. Black walnut will help fight off this fungus. And I get a yes, I write it down. I write down black walnut. Calendula will help fight off this fungus. I go through all of that list and write down every one that will help. Then, considering the ones you already have in the house, I make a star next to those and ask my body, will this one work? But first I've asked, I need at least one of these. I need at least 2 of these. I need at least 3 of these. I need at least 4 of these. So if I need 3, I'm looking for 3 antifungal, in this case, to fight off this infection. And we identify those 3. You go through all of them and with a statement something like, black walnut will be the best one to fight off this fungus. Okay, what else? Garlic will be the best one. No, ginger will be the best one. I just write down whichever ones I come up with that are the best ones and make sure there's 3 of them if that's what I needed. Then you can ask, do I need to take them internally or breathe them or put it on as a poultice? Yes, you need to learn a little bit more about plants and how they're used if you don't know how to do poultices and tinctures and steam treatments and all the rest of those things. And please ask if you need extra help on that one before you need it for the cold or flu or something that's being persistent. So you've found out what it is, bacterial, viral, or fungal. You've found out what plants are effective and how many are needed and which ones are most effective, whether it's needed internally or externally or breathed. Then how much? You don't want to use just a little bit. If your body needs a 1-2 punch to knock it back out again, you want to take enough to really knock it out right now. So ask the how much and then take it full on. If I need Mullein tea, I don't drink 1 cup of Mullein tea and assume that's enough. I drink a cup as often as I get a yes on it, and I check every hour if I'm fighting off something like that. So take a bunch. You want to kill it the first day, the first 24 hours, your first 48 hours, and not let it slip by. Using this method, you never need to use antibiotics, pharmaceutical direction drugs. You can fight off anything you've got using the plants that you probably have in your house or that you're going to pick up now that you know what they are, and make sure you keep them either in dried or tincture form in your house so that you've got them available all the time. I hope that you've picked up some things in this presentation that you can use immediately and will find a reason to use them immediately in your life.